Lesson 16, Part 1a, Aorist active subjunctive. The aorist active subjunctive is formed like this. Aorist active subjunctive equals third stem plus omega eta theme vowel plus primary A endings. For first aorists, the alpha at the end of the third stem will contract with a theme vowel to essentially disappear. Here are the forms, and you can see that first aorists and second aorists end up looking exactly the same. There's no distinction here in the subjunctive between first and second aorist. So pistuso, pistustes, pistuse, pistusomen, pistusete, pistusosi. You may be wondering, well, how am I going to tell the difference between this and the future active subjunctive? Well, there isn't a future active subjunctive. So if you were confused on if this is a second or a third stem, you would then notice that there's an omega eta theme vowel, and the only option for an omega eta theme vowel between second and third stem is third stem, and you would realize that this is an aorist active subjunctive. Now note, because the subjunctive does not refer to time, the aorist active subjunctive is not a secondary tense. Therefore, it doesn't have an augment or secondary endings. Now, not having that augment might throw you and make you really think that this is second stem, but it is third. There's no augment because it's not a secondary tense. For first aorist, if the only difference between the second and third stem is in alpha, the future active indicative first singular and the aorist active subjunctive first singular will be identical. So this is only for first aorist because second aorist had the on ending. Oh no, because second aorist, scratch that. Second aorist are nothing like the future stems. So for first aorist, which are very similar to future stems except for the alpha, if the only difference between the second and third stem is that alpha, the alpha here disappears. The omega is the ending. The omega was the ending for future active indicative first singular. Those two will be identical. Root aorist verbs like ginosko, anabino, and katabino do not get a theme vowel in the aorist subjunctive, just like they don't in the aorist indicative. Because they're root aorists, that means the endings go directly on the root, regardless of what else is going on. All right, now there's a special feature called the aorist subjunctive of prohibition. The aorist subjunctive can be used with may to give a prohibition against doing something. It's like a negative command. So for example, we can get may phobeithes, which means do not be afraid or do not fear. Summary. Aorist active subjunctive equals third stem plus omega eta theme vowel plus primary A endings. For first aorist, the alpha at the end of the third stem will contract with a theme vowel to essentially disappear. For first aorist, if the only difference between the second and third stem is the alpha, the future active indicative first singular and the aorist active subjunctive first singular will be identical. Root aorist verbs like ginosko, anabino, and katabino do not get a theme vowel in the aorist subjunctive, just like they don't in the aorist indicative. And the aorist subjunctive can be used with may to give a prohibition.